Sam, don't be afraid. I will not leave you alone tomorrow. Let your hands talk in the ring.
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Team Usyk. Moses Atoma, get this. According to Ikas Klimas, the the promoter of Alexander Usyk, he warns Moses Atoma. He warns him that if he fights Usyk next, he'll be done for murder and he will be brutally knocked out. And let me counterpunch. I know interviewers ask questions because that's their job. They're supposed to ask questions to inquire what is the mindset and what is the future for Alexander Usyk. Of course, we know Usyk has said himself that he wants to go home and rest, be with his family, hang out, chill, relax. He's been training, preparing, working. Now it's time for him to do the opposite, right? We all know that. Well, according to Ikas Klimas, he warns Moses Atoma because we know that Turki Al-Sheikh, His Excellency, has said that he is interested in a Moses Atoma versus Alexander Usyk fight, an alpha versus the omega kind of way, you know, the young lion versus the grown, mature lion, you know what I mean? The young versus the old, right? The old versus the new. However you want to slice it and dice it. This is the reply from Ikas Klimas. He will be done for. His career will be ruined. And that's if he wants it. And let me counterpunch people. I think what Ikas Klimas is saying, he's saying exactly what he's supposed to, but is he saying wrong? He's actually telling the truth. Because if Moses fights Usyk and wins, he's Britain's savior. He's going to replace AJ with all of those endorsements. He's going to be the one that's looked at like the savior of Great Britain, you know, because in the last 6 or 7 years, you know, really the last 8 or 9 years, the UK has produced a lot of heavyweights that have done a lot in the history of boxing, especially in the heavyweight division. And they have seemed in the last 6 years, or 4 years rather, to be beaten by one man, and his name is Alexander Usyk, the Brit Breaker, right? He will be looked at as a star, as a savior, as the solution to the problem for the Brit Breaker. But at 21 years of age, if he goes in there and he fights Alexander Usyk and he loses, more importantly, if he loses, I know the fabrication of, oh, he'll get knocked out and murdered by Ikas Klimas. Now, I just think if he loses and he loses bad, like a Jeff Lacey versus a Calzaghe, right? If you guys remember that fight, it was the young lion supposed to take on the mature guy that's never been beaten, right? Like Calzaghe. And Calzaghe schooled him. If Usyk schools Moses Atoma, that I feel will put a damp on his career. Because for one, the money that he will receive for fighting him will supersede anything that he's ever made, which is a good thing. But it could also be all of the nails in the coffin. All of them will be, you know, nailed down at one time, simply based off the fact that, you know, you could stunt the growth of a fighter that's learning. That's, you know, he knows how to fight. Moses, I've seen him fight, but the people that we've seen him fight don't really have the experience under their belt. Dempsey McKean doesn't register. You know, the fighter that he fought before, I can't remember his name, doesn't register. Dillian White will be the first person that has some experience, and we've yet to see that fight. So we don't know how it's going to go, but that is a test from someone seasoned to give him any type of credibility, right? So if he loses to Usyk and they get that fight done and he takes that gamble and he fights Usyk, and what will happen with Usyk, they'll probably offer him so much money that he can't refuse. But he fights that kid and he beats that kid up, because he's going to have to beat that kid, because Moses is going to make you beat him up. I mean, if it's going to be that way, sometimes you have to show somebody, old or young. You know, if Usyk's still around, you have to show Usyk why he shouldn't be around. If Moses wants to get down, you have to show him you can still get down. You know, so it's going to be one or the other. It's going to be either a good fight. It could be a combination of both. It could be like the fight of the year, but understand Moses is a lot younger than Usyk. So if Usyk's able to do it, Usyk knows at 38 years of age, he says it's the beginning. I think that's bullshit. It just means that he can still get down. He's going to get down, and I believe that he will, because I think Usyk will not play with Moses. What Usyk will do, he'll try to knock Moses out or stop Moses. But then again, what would he have to do necessarily that crucial? Because we don't know. The question mark is, where is Moses's durability levels actually? Where are they? He's never taken a hard punch from someone, or a decent punch from someone. So we don't know that. Then he's with Ben Davison, a primarily offensive-minded trainer. So we don't really know how he will take a punch. So that fight may cripple someone like that. And that's my fear for Moses. See, I think Moses is the future, but you don't want someone's future, to become cut way short due to the fact of overextending or pushing that fighter past his limits at the time. Don't bruise the horses, right? So I think this is an example of that. So you guys tell me what you think of Igis Klima's warning Moses Atoma. Don't take the challenge. Don't take the bait. Your career will be ended if you fight Usyk now. Please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.